Yo, so something that didn't let me sleep is a realization that just made me so fucking excited. Like I hate those fucking thoughts that just makes you so fucking excited to the point that you cannot even sleep. Sure, I eat it so much. Ramadan, you break your fast and you just eat wherever thing moves in the front of you. And yeah, like it makes sense that I cannot sleep in this time. Especially I was fucking um sleeping late these days, not because I was doing some fun things, just helping my mom with work and this stuff, 24/7, 24/7, like 24/24, shifts, whatever. You see something, you know, once you learn something and it kind of improves you in whatever thing, something that you really care about. When we make a mistake, we just feel so fucking sad, or rather, when we are going so good. When we, for example, attempt a new milestone, we just kind of forbidden mistakes from our lives. Although that improvement, that new milestone that you hit, cannot be the end point for your overall goal. You know what I mean? And the time that I relapsed, although I had the mindset that you shouldn't learn from mistakes and mistakes are not the end point but opportunities to learn, but it just felt so fucking sad. Maybe it is because I celebrated so soon, I guess. I celebrated so soon, but it's not how other people gonna react to me after they know that I relapsed after I told them that I quit porn. But I learned something that is so fucking crucial. The reason why I relapsed that day, it is because of perfectionism, which leads to escapism. So when you have perfectionism, which is basically you cannot start until everything is perfect, or until all the subjects you skim through them, then you can study the new subjects. It's like you want to, you don't it's forbidden for you to reach level 25, whilst you didn't touch the previous levels. Although these mindsets can be so beneficial, and in fact can be strategic more than just being perfection. But when it comes to work, it just fucks you up. And the more that you have, that you kind of procrastinate because you want things until they be perfect. But when you see how big the mountain of things that you need to do, so you can do the thing that you did, that you said that you won't do because of perfectionism, it just, especially when it's compounding so much, it just leads to escapism. You just want to fucking escape, not in a healthier coping mechanism, but just in a procrastinating way. And sometimes can lead to getting back into your old patterns like porn and masturbation. And what I really discovered that day is, when I relapsed, I just asked myself, why did I relapse today? And at the first glance, for me at least, it felt like a fucking impossible question to answer, because I thought that I know everything, and I went through all the things that I know, and there's nothing new that I can learn. Because even if there is a new thing that I can learn, but how can I know if it's the missing piece that led to this problem, or it is something else? And here where God's role exists, and here where the atheist and the Down syndrome person can for sure get convinced that there is a creator in this world, because the mind works for vitally two goals. The goal number one is to determine the needed steps to get through, so you can reach from point A and point B. And the second role of the mind is to figure out what is the unknown endpoint, what is the unknown B, what is the point B. Is it 10K a month? Is it fitness? Is it having 10% body fat? Is it, you know? So basically, the brain function for two things: for the known goal, and to figure out the crucial steps that you need to get through so you can reach the known goal, which is point B. And the second goal is to identify what is the point B from the first place. And as humans, we are limits. We are limited. And you see, the brain is so fucking marvelous. Like, the brain literally, I'm gonna say it, like, it just surpasses our level of consciousness with milestones that we can't even fucking explain or give a definition of what the fuck is going on in this specific situation. And in this specific situation, you cannot define or critique or judge this learning, this teachings of the cybernetics of the brain. But just like how Maxwell Maltz says, you can only experience the truth, and you can only prove it for yourself and not for others. You cannot explain to others what is the truth, but the truth, they need to experience the truth to know what's the truth of the truth. Like, I'm coming becoming philosophical now, but this lesson that I learned is just something that surpasses our level of consciousness with 10x our capacity of understanding. What the fuck I'm just saying. So when I relapsed, and before I relapsed, I didn't know something called like perfectionism, the 100% or zero mentality, the all or nothing mentality. Those syndromes which are caused by your experiences as a childhood, or they can be sometimes traumatic, like feeling sometimes not enough, just like the perfectionism thing, you see. And once you understand that, once you understand that that you don't need to start perfectly. You see, you don't need to start until the water is totally filled. You can start even before fucking the water exists. I don't know if that makes sense, but we all the times is like it can be sometimes unconsciously provoked, because although we can know that you need to start and don't wait for the perfect time, because there is no perfect time. We all see those reels for multiple times, yet we still don't utilize what we learn. We know what we learn, but we don't utilize it. We know what we learn subconsciously, but we cannot use it consciously. And the only time when a learning transforms from subconsciously to consciously known is when you experience it. It's when you get this big smack at the face of the truth, and you understand how what they really meant by what they say, what they really meant by loving yourself. And they've never mentioned that you need to pleasure yourself so you can love yourself. Rather, you need to love your future self and to do things that is kind and helping for your future self, and not to make it struggle by you preferring instant gratification over delayed gratification, you know. And that's what I learned, to be honest. Like, although I saw failure as a opportunity to learn, but especially when I surpassed 15, 16, 7, 20 days without porn. Yeah, I when I surpassed 20 days without porn, it's like I said, like, oh man, there is no way I can fucking fail now. Like, before I surpassed day 20, I said like, okay, if I fail, I will learn. I will fail. If I fail, I will learn. But when I surpassed day 20, I said there is no way that I can fucking fail this time. All right, I figured this out. Then boom, you relapsed. Oh my god, it cannot be true. Why I relapsed? Why is that? Why is that? And like when the first time I relapsed at the day, I said, all right, you see, you are in control. You are in control. Boom. Once I had an urge, not to watch porn, but just like a erection, I knew how to deal with that thing. I know how to deal like the spiritual thing, this stuff. But the fact that I just relapsed, here is my perfectionism starts to kick in. Bro, you already relapsed. So, like, it didn't relapse the second time because I relapsed the first time. So it is what it is. Like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. No, but because of escapism. Like, I didn't want to analyze how, like, it can make sense. Like, if you relapse the first time, then it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna relapse at the second time. But just thinking about the thing and why I relapsed for the first time from the first place just gives me so much escapism. And these negative feelings I didn't know how to manage, and thus I just rushed back to pornography again and again. And the fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time, I think like 6 times I watched porn in these 3 days. Like, holy fuck. Fapathon. A real fapathon. Like, I couldn't steer myself. I couldn't how can I say it, like, to stop myself anymore. Not because I already relapsed, so it doesn't. So it's not a big deal if I relapse again, but because escapism. I didn't know to face the doubt that you relapsed after you thought that you figured out everything after 20 days without relapsing. And yeah, like, what I learned basically is I needed to deal with not like how to, like, those things, like they tell you like you need to know how to stop using porn and relationship, or you need to learn how to manage your emotions, this stuff. But more precisely, there are some, you can call them like syndromes that are more um dictates whether you can quit porn or not. You need to identify what are your syndromes, because by so far I know like two things that I have: perfectionism and escapism. And I think like perfectionism is the same thing as all or nothing mentality. Like, you want to do things like perfectly. For example, let's say, like, for me personally, it was my math studying. So basically, I have a exam at May, which is my 12th grade, which is a crucial year. And I said like, oh bro, I need to fucking study physics today. I open physics. I realized like how much things I should like revise, and just that fucking overwhelming idea that I thought that I would start at level 0, but I realized that I would start at level -0. It just freaked me out. And the first time you won't like fucking escape, but you would say like, oh fuck, too much things I need to do. Like, all right, be a David Goggins, go revise those old things. The second day you revise physics. Oh, where we're gonna start now? Oh shit! Like, those things are so fucking huge, man. Here's the phone. Let me check that message. And you scroll for a long time. The third time, the fourth time, next same story. The seventh time, the 12th time, You just want to fucking escape. You don't want to face your fucking duties anymore because they're just so fucking overwhelming mentally. And this is how escapism is generating. Escapism is just compounding the compounds of perfectionism ideas that just get so compounded, they get so sore, so heavy in your shoulder that you just want to fucking let out of that weight and you just fucking escape. It can be through like unnecessarily sleep by the argument of I'm just taking power naps. Like sure, like I'm not against taking power naps, but if it caused by a negative emotion, then it is perfectionism. If it's caused by a healthy, by a positive reason, which is for example you didn't sleep well yesterday, or you feel like your brain just don't want to function as sharp as anymore because you didn't get enough sleep and you're just so overloaded, not because of negative emotion, but just because you worked it so much, then sure, take power naps. But taking power naps because you want to get avoided from the negative emotions is just like meditation and like you don't focus meditation. All right, focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. Oh, you need to pay the bills. Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. Oh, uh, like you remember some negative things in your life, like for example, you saw your woman cheating on you, or you escalated to a new genre in pornography, a new fetishness, and you just like try to uh, move your focus from that, focus on the present moment. Sure, you train your brain to stay focused, but there are some underlying things that are in the long run gonna fucking fuck up your entire score. You get what I mean? And that's the issue. We didn't cultivate a big, thick energy to face our fears, not our fears, but the things that we can't change, but we choose to not because it is just so frictionated. It just gives so much friction. It is just so fucking, you know, so complicated. I get it. I was in that place. You just need to identify what are your priorities and just every time you are in a situation, just ask yourself, is this the priority? Yes or no? No? Get the shit out of it. Yes, work on it. Basically. And you won't get a fucking stress if you just focus on one thing. But because me, I was focusing on my recovery of pornography and I wanted to build my business upon this, but I'm not sure because I'm studying. And if I couldn't quit porn, then it means that I need to focus on my studying, but I don't give too much time to my studying subjects anymore because I'm focusing on my recovery. And this paradox, my paradox, is so fucking complex than yours probably. Let alone like some traumas and this stuff. All of us we have traumas. It's just so I don't have a word to describe how fucking complex that is was, you know. But now, how I deal with that, how I deal with my now the actionable step, how to deal with your perfectionism issues. If that sounds like your situation or you can relate to me in an aligned way with another thing, with another goal, the goal is just focus on progress more than perfectionism, more than perfection. Focus on progress more than perfection. Because sometimes perfection, although we can think that it is strategic to be perfectionated on all the things around you, but sometimes it can lead you to be paralyzed with taking action. Just like how it happened with me, and probably how it happened with you when you want to study your work, what you realize that it is just so fucking you need to revise many things that you didn't revise before you get into the new subject. Fuck it. Take Embrace imperfection. Just embrace imperfection basically.
what's going to happen? What is going to happen? Like at the end, the exam that you're gonna take in May is gonna it won't have all the subjects. So maybe that subject that you're stressing out on so much, it's just a fucking something that you're gonna waste your time in, and you won't find it in the exam, and you might find it in the exam something else that you didn't give a fuck about because you were giving a fuck about the thing that you didn't give a fuck about for in the first place. And just the ultimate solution for that is just believe in God, literally. Like God didn't move that needle in that sense just because he wanted to, or just because he felt like it, but because he knows a big wisdom in it. Because he literally like by just fucking changing the color of that thing can literally like change lives, or can shift your life trajectory 180%, 180 degree, like some weird shit, bro. Like, and although if you don't believe in God, although if you don't believe in God, I'm not gonna tell you why you should believe in God because there are some like if you just don't believe in God, you're just a fucking dumbass. Basically, I'm being rude here, but literally, really, like if you don't believe in God, then do you think that you're gonna be better off? Do you think that you're gonna produce quality work if you wasted your time thinking about what if this thing happened and not this thing, or what if I studied in that subject and not that subject, or what if this what if thing? Do you think that you're gonna be better off with that one thing comparing to just saying like it is what it is, just take one action a day? Literally, just fucking work like a fucking dumb, like just work with a fucking dumb in terms of ignorance, but don't work like a fucking dumb when it comes to distracting yourself through working. Literally, like you'll be better off if you just stop overthinking about that shit. Because even if you overthink about that shit, like just overthinking about it cannot get it back to it. Like, oh, let's suppose that the thing that didn't happen was the best thing to you instead of the current thing that you have, nigga. Can you change that? Do you have control over that? You don't have control, right? So just work with what you have. You either believe in God or not. I don't give a fuck. But just fucking wasting your time on what if that thing happened or what it didn't happen won't change nothing because it is what it is. It's gone. Literally, it's gone. And in fact, if time passes, like after that pandemic that happened for you, that pandemic that you suppose that is a pandemic, but it is a bliss from God, whether you believe in God or not, after 3 months or 1 month or 2 weeks at least, when you're gonna remember that thing what happened to you, you're gonna see it in a completely different way. From seeing it as a negative thing that happened into a positive thing. Oh, thank God, or thank whatever you believe in or you don't believe. You're gonna just say, oh, I'm so fucking lucky because that bad thing happened to me because of that bad thing happened to me. It's made me to focus on only one thing, that one thing. And basically when bad thing happened to you when you're working on it, it's just a perfectionism related issue. It's just that God saw you that you have a goal and you just being so perfectionated about it, and He just wanted to fucking He just wanted to like remove it, not to fucking punish you because you don't believe in Him, but to guide you through the right way, to guide you like, hey, don't play with this thing because it's gonna make you sick. No, search for the other. He knows what you're gonna choose, so we just basically remove the thing that you have now because he knows what you're gonna choose as an alternative, and you're gonna choose that. And after 2 weeks, you're not gonna realize like that thing that happened to you, the bad thing that you thought that was bad, was the best thing ever happened in your life. It literally changed your life 180%, 180 degree. And maybe from that, then you can start believing in God. This is just my personal thoughts. And I don't give a fuck if you agree or not. If you don't agree, you just have a fucking small PP. Like these words cannot receive it like people who have small dick and premature ejaculation. So yeah, like just leave the fuck out of this channel. Um Yeah, so this was what excited me, is not excited me, but something that really like removed a big weight on my shoulder, off my shoulder, is the what if thing. Although I believe in God, but all the time I was like overthink about what if, what if, what if. But if God removed something from your life, it's just for, he just say he corrected the trajectory that you were going through. Yeah, it's like you are driving a car and you get into the highway, and your destination was to point A, but you what you went left, you went to the road Z, and God saw that, and that's why when you were going through the way Z, He make you enter an accident, and you successfully mm, are alive, and from that you generated an idea that I believe that taking road Z is the worst thing that ever happened, and you search for another close road, and you found A, and you go through A, and after 3 months or 2 weeks, you realize that point Z, the road, the highway Z, was full of Jew people, and you thank God that you didn't get take the road to that Jew people, to the highway of Jew people, which is point Z, because an accident happened to you, which made you to change the trajectory, and now you are in a better place. And what if? But what if point Z was better place? Sure, if it was better place, then God would choose it for you. And if He didn't choose it for you, although it's good for you, it means that you don't have the same, like the compatible experiences and the self, in the sense of self that you are. Like, I don't want to get philosophical, but I can get with you because I have a big dick and I can describe for you what I understand is that although point Z, the right way, the highway Z, can be so fucking beneficial, but you're just not ready for it. You're just not the type of person who can take responsibility for that road. So that's why God put you in point A, just to fucking train until you try to go to point Z, and luckily you can make it through it. So the core lesson is everything is precisely planned by God, and there is nothing occasion. There is nothing such as occasion in this world. That's the lesson for you. So in that way, I removed a big weight from my shoulder. Yeah, but what if you don't fucking quit porn during this season and you didn't study well for school? Yeah, we'll figure it out. And even whatever happened to me, it's all the time gonna be better for me, because God knows what's better for me more than I do, because I'm just a human and He is limitless. I'm limited because I'm created by Him, but He is limitless because He didn't got created by somebody, because He exists from before the existence ever exists, because He's the one who created existence in the sense of self, in the sense of existence and matter. So just give all your worries to God. And what I mean by worries is those future things. What if? What if this happened? Yeah, and it's happened. But what if this happened? Yeah, this happened. But what if this happened? Like, like you, the more smarter you are, the more you will suffer. And whether you are smart or not, just give all of your worries to God. Like, sure, things that you are dealing with in the present moment, it is your responsibility. But things that are from the future, things that you cannot predict as a human, those things are God's mission. Those things are God's specific things that He knows how to deal with better than you. So give the future worries to your God, and the present worries is for you. But here is the disclaimer: as we said, God knows everything, and he written what you're gonna go through and what you're gonna be and when you're gonna die. So be like just be calm. When we are dealing with our worries, we don't need to fix all the things at the same time. I don't know how to explain it to you, but what I'm saying is you don't need, for example, let's suppose that we are working on our traumas and we are trying to list each experience that we've been through that formed a negative belief that we believe on ourselves. And the goal here is to break out those limited beliefs and to break them and to change them with empowering beliefs. All right. I remember when I first did that, I tried to list every single, like I tried, like forcefully tried to make my brain vomit some, all the memories that I remember. Yeah, I remember this time with my mom, and this time with the kids that were bullying me, and this time, and this time, and this time, and this time. Like I was just like trying to list them all. But the thing is, how I want you to see things is there are some 20% that gives 80% of the results, and there are some 80% that only gives a small amount, which is 20%. So there's the big things that are in a small shape and form, and there are the big shape and forms, but they only give a small results, they give us small benefits. And in our case, we're working with our traumas. It means that there are some memories that are some small quantity of memories that are the most remarkable for us, that it is the most dominating ones and affects us the most. And there are many, 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 many things that we barely think about consciously, experiences that we've been through that are, although they are so much in quantity compared to the first ones, but they don't do that much of change. They are only like 1%, 0.5, 10%. But the 20% that gives 80% of the results are the bad memories, are the bad experiences, the traumas, the real traumas that make you fucking piss when you are sleeping if you think about them. And these ones we need to work with them. But how to distinguish between the 80% and the 20% ones? The 20% that gives huge difference and the 80% that just gives a tiny difference. Well, your brain, ask your brain. When you remember the word trauma, what is the first thing that pops off in your mind? Probably that experience where you had nobody to defend you from bullies, and you called your mom to defend you, and they were bullying her and mocking her, and you felt that way, that feeling of you are worthless, and you felt shame and guilt because although they were bullying your mom and you should do something about this, but because you had no father and no brother to defend your mom from, you couldn't help yourself or help her, and you still didn't forgive yourself till today. Like these memories, like these experiences, like these traumas are the 20% that gives 80% results that they are so remarkable when you reframe them in a positive way and you see huge benefits, huge improvements in your life when you reframe it. And these ones are the ones that first pops in your mind, or the ones that you replay. Those are the sources you replay so much in your brain time to time, like so much, so commonly. And these ones that we need to work with. But what about the 80% that doesn't give so much difference? um See, we don't want to be perfection. We don't want perfection because perfection gonna just makes us paralyzed and not improve as fast as possible. We cannot learn as fast as possible. And that's why we will not give a fuck about them that much, although they are traumas, but they are not that fucking um dominating, you know. So just focus on the things that would take you less time but huge improvement and huge change, but not those huge stuff that will only would give you tiny change that is not remarkable, and you would just waste too much time comparing. Would just get a a low ROI comparing to the time and effort and energy that you narrowed to. That's what I'm trying to say. This is how to identify the 20% over the 80%, the 20% that gives you huge impact. And in our case, and probably you relate to me as well, when we are dealing with perfectionism, we need to value progress over perfectionism. Because perfectionism, it can be so fucking, like, it can be, we cannot even notice because we are just getting so used to it. It is so immersed with our sense of self that we cannot even, it is also in the way that we talk, you know. I want the best way. I want the best book. I need a book about this topic. Or even it can be in reading. Let's say for example, like I'm not discouraging reading, but let's say for example you bought a book, and the reason why you bought a book, for example, let's say psychocybernetics, is to use it for YouTube, for example, for being a leader, and to use manipulation tactics to become a leader, and people will like you more so they can buy your stuff. And you read in psychocybernetics. So your goal is diamonds. Your goal is the goal from reading that book is to the goal of reading that book is to identify tactics, or to generate, or to brainstorm, or just to find practical steps on how to improve your YouTube skills. So this is diamond. Whilst you're reading the book, some ideas start popping off about business tactics that are so valuable, and about fitness tactics that are so valuable, and about diet and sleep and this stuff. And these things are gold, they are valuable, but they are not diamond. But your primary goal is to find diamond. This is the reason why you bought the book. So, you know, like, is this, I suffer from this thing like for many times, you know, like for many, like for a long time ago. Like I cannot, I can literally show you now, like my autistic notes of Atomic Habits. That I've never read them, just because of the insecurity of not having ideas sticking out of my brain. Like, although I'm grateful for the perfectionism that I had, because it was my substitute, or my first motivation to why I read books, to identify a road, to identify a goal, a purpose in my life to work on. But after I figure out the goal and the purpose of why I'm existing and what I need to accomplish, reading books should be only aligned with that primary goal, and not just for whatever, like for whatever material, for whatever, like silver or gold, and I'm gonna just pick it, you know. Like, so, like, I want you to imagine yourself that you are playing Minecraft and you're searching for diamond, and you saw coal, emeralds, lapis, gold, silver, iron, quiver. Although they can be so valuable, or in fact they can sometimes be, you can find some, for example, some materials that are so fucking valuable than diamond. But if your primary goal is to find diamond because of a strong why, and why you won't settle for less or more, but just diamond, like, you won't get something that is higher than diamond or lower than diamond, you just only get diamond, then you just need to focus on the fucking diamond. You just need to read that book just to generate only ideas about YouTube, but not to focus on other things. You know, like, don't let yourself get distracted so fast. You know, you bought the book to read about or you read the books so you can generate ideas about YouTube, and now you finish it with a different goal, different from the first goal, initial goal that you had while you read that book. You don't need to fall into this trap, although it's okay to fall into this trap when you start off journey of self-improvement and discovering who you are and what you want to become and what you want to have and the impact that you want to have in the world. But once you discover what you want to do with your life, all the energy, all the time, except the time that I'm talking here, because I can't, obviously, you cannot sleep. And all your mental and physical energy should only be focused on that fucking one primary goal, and all the things that are beneficial for the first goal, that are the protein and creatine for that goal, you know. So your goal is to eat normal carnivore food to bulk up. And there are some side hustle things that you can do also, which are beneficial for the thing, although you're doing something different, which is, for example, to do cardio or to sleep well and eat, take your protein and vitamins and creatine things. Although they are, you see, although they are different, but they are in the same sense. You know, we want to pick things that are in the same sense with the primary goal, and to eliminate the things that are, although they can be bigger than the goal itself, but it is the opposite sense and not the same sense as the same as the primary goal. Those things that we need to eliminate. And this is the lesson that I learned. Essentialism. Be essential. Pick only one thing. And if you don't have that thing, discover what you like, discover what your interests. Read books. Literally read books just like as autistic as possible. Like I hugely recommend reading books as like a fucking psychopath. I can literally show you now my notepads was for another video. But literally when you start off and you don't have no one in your circle who's successful or who done what you want to do in the life, and you're feeling lost, you don't know what to do with your life, you want to make money, and you just recently get out of the gym, but you want to make money, but you like you go like literally you can be going to the gym, you can literally go be going to the gym, and at the same time you have a voice in your head that says like, yeah, but what if my mom has a problem with money? What if my mom is broke now? Can I won't be able to go to the gym anymore? So what is the idea? How can I maintain my muscles? And it's so discomfortable, you know. So it's like it requires some mental things, not only mental power, but also it makes you stressed out because you don't know where to start. But it is the discomfort that makes you grow. And I'm glad for my younger self for getting out of the gym, losing all the status and girls to discover my purpose in life and what I want really to do with my life. And for being honest, authentic with myself, that if I don't have money and I only have muscle for now, then in the long run I cannot maintain those muscles because those muscle requires money, food and membership. So what the fuck I will fucking waste my time on things that are not the core thing for my current sense of life. I need to focus on the foundation so when I'm gonna build upon it something, it can be sustainable and maintainable for the long run, not for the short term, just to get fucked in late and hook up with for a temporary moment, you know? I'm glad that I had that mindset. And I'm glad that I took that action, that discomfortable, uncomfortable action. And it's where am I right now? Like it led where am I right now. And although I'm not where I want to be now, but I'm becoming the person who already accomplished what I wanted to. Yeah, how to deal with your perfectionism is to stop being a bitch. But I need the makeup before I hang out. I need to shave my pussy because what if somebody likes me and he wants to eat my pussy but he finds it so hairy? Just fucking go out. What if it didn't? If it didn't happen? If you ask yourself all the time, oh, but what if this thing happened? Ask yourself, what if that thing was bad for me? That's why God removed it from my life. Basically, And even if it's better than where you what you have now or what God gave you instead, you are not God to really judge whether it is the best thing for your current sense of self or maybe the thing that will give you your downfall. Because although it can seem that is so fucking it's gonna fucking improve our lives, but it cannot be sustainable. Although it can give you a high dopamine level, but if it's not sustainable, then it will just fuck you up for the rest of your life. So you gotta be the type of person who can maintain things out. You gotta be the type of person who can maintain 10K a month, who can maintain 20K a month. Not receiving the money, but actually making them. You need to have systems, and complex things. But just because you are in level 1, you cannot judge whether level 50 is hard or easy. Because you need to become at level 49 so you can fucking judge. And to become at level 49, you need to start off with level 2, level 3, level 4 until you reach that level. So there is a picture that I really like, a video of an experimental experiment who took a small tiny square and in front of it a huge square and if you in front of it a huge fucking square and until like in the 10th square is a fucking big ass square, and he do the domino thing like where he pushes the first square and he pushes the other thing and the thing is the more you move to the next level the bigger the square, but although it is bigger than the previous one but it still can fall. What do you think is that? Compound effects. This is the compound effects, because you cannot fucking kill monster at level 50 whereas you are only have the equipments of level 1. You need to become at level 49 and have the equipments of 49 so you can kill the monster of 50, and to get to reach 49 you need to fucking go through the process. So fucking overthinking things, waiting for the perfect moment. Just do the fucking work. Just do the fucking work, bro. So fucking over analyzing things because God didn't tell you to fucking be perfect or to be fucking perfectionated, because perfection is only for God. You as a human, you're imperfect and you need to embrace that because it is our nature. We cannot fucking surpass our nature, bro. We cannot surpass our update because we are just created. Only if God wanted us to be a fucking angels. But we are just fucking humans and it is normal to fucking make mistakes. But just don't let the fact that you can make mistakes let you down. Because through mistakes, we learn. Through mistakes, we learn. I wouldn't fucking learn the things that I just passed on you if I didn't relapse 2 days ago. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that. And even if it's because of another thing, let's say, for example, I could subconsciously manage my emotional bullshit. But if I'm gonna work with someone else on how to quit porn and we get into this part when it comes to dealing with our negative emotions, I cannot help him to quit porn because I didn't been through that. So I'm grateful for fucking going through all this shit, for all these fucking things, because through them I learned things that I'm gonna pass to my fucking clients in the future when I'm gonna work with them. I'm so grateful because God showed me that I'm not equipped enough with knowledge and with tools so I can help others. Thus, he fucking didn't let me surpass the level where am I. Because he wanted me to learn something before I go, which is emotional processing. And I'm not against God's fates or against God's decisions. I'm just have big trust in God because I know that He's gonna choose all the time the best for me. And if He knows that something is bad for me, He wouldn't choose it for me. But who am I to ask God for to say, for example, oh please, please God, only this one, just give it to me, please this one, just let me God be a fucking coach, even though I didn't quit porn. But I can't. You know why? Because God doesn't have a fucking time. He lives in the future and in the past and in the present. Like I don't want to get so philosophical, but God lives in the future and in the present and this thing like is fucking written, like is written. I cannot change it because I'm just a fucking human. Only if God wanted to, and He won't, because God doesn't regret and God doesn't make mistakes. So why He would fucking change something that He said that it needs to be done because of me? Because I asked God, oh please, can you do this for me, and not this one that you choose. God doesn't make mistakes. I do mistakes. If I was a God, if I was in His place, I would do fucking too much mistakes. So just say mashallah, and if you don't believe in God, just literally just fucking start believing on Him. Literally, like I didn't give you no fucking Quran verses or Bible or what's that? Oh fuck, what is that? Fucking hell, man. Damn, shit. I didn't give you a fucking like Talmud verses like or fucking Judaism verse. I just gave you fucking bare logic. And if you fucking say like I'm a fucking atheist, I don't believe in nothing, or I'm a fucking science, like those people who only believe in science and doesn't believe in God because it's spiritual and spiritualities cannot be guaranteed, nigga. Like I don't want to get so fucking philosophical, but the science that we claim that we believe in is it in itself God? Like I don't know if it does make sense for you. I don't know if you have a small dick that you cannot understand what I'm saying, but trust me when I say that the way that we describe things from a scientific perspective, it is just a tiny part. Remember, see, it is just a tiny part of religion, of who God is. Not religion, but of who God is. So how we describe the things that we go through, the experience that we go through from a scientific evidence, is it all summarized? Is it all summarized in a tiny verse with a lot of meaning in the Quran and some in the other holy books? If you don't believe me, ah man, like there's just so fucking so much Quran verses that just proves what I'm saying. Not because I'm born in a Muslim culture in a Muslim family. That's why I claim that Islam is the right one. But because I've been through being atheist for a certain moment, and I knew that I was a small dick person for fucking claiming whether God exists or not. And I'm just fucking 15 or 16 years old guy who fucking didn't read in any book, who doesn't do good in school. And how can I say that God exists or not just because of fucking emotional thing? Because I can tell that when people says, oh, but I don't like to talk about religion because it scares me out. It scares you what? Because you know that there is something that you are wrong about, and it's just your anxiety kicks in. That's why you fucking try to avoid it. But God, just like how you try to avoid Him, He will avoid you in the afterlife. I don't want you to make you fucking freak out now because you just need I just planted this idea in your mind so you can fucking really think about this one. Yeah, like holy fuck, I think now it's fucking 2 a.m. Shit, I need to wake up early tomorrow. And yeah, like I hope someone watched this video because like these insights that I gave is just so fucking, for at least for me, so fucking vibe. And I wish that I told my youngest self early on. Stop being perfect. And by stop being perfect, I'm not saying be average. When I say don't be perfect is on the only perfect thing is God. I'm not saying that you need to be average, but be perfect in the sense of human. But don't be perfect in the sense of a God because we are not God. We are just humans, and of course we do mistakes. But if we are just in a scale of humans between 0 and 100 years old and not another creator or creator, then a perfect person in our sense is someone who doesn't get overwhelmed by doing too much things, or knowing that he needs to do too much things now, and he feels so overwhelmed on managing how he gonna do all those things now to fucking shortcut time, because he knows that God choose the things that he's gonna go through and what are the things that he needs to do. So he just doesn't overthink himself, and he just focus on process, on progress over perfectionism. And two, it is someone who uses failures as opportunities to learn. And three, who just keeps improving every single day one thing. He doesn't want to improve 100 thing at one day, each day 100 thing, but he tries to improve one thing each day. He focuses on progress, on maintainment over fucking exaggerated fucking skyrocketing that is not maintainable in the long run. He focuses on the long run more than the short term, and that's why you're gonna succeed. And that's why, in our sense of humanity, we're gonna perceive that person as a perfect person, although perfectionism is only for God. But when we are only playing in level 1 and level 5, and not level infinity, just like the God's level, then a perfect person means those three traits. Fuck, I forget about them. Learn from mistakes, improve every single day, choose progress over perfectionism. And he doesn't overthink about the future so much because he already believed that God had made the best out of the best out of the best decisions for him, because he is only a human and he cannot know what is good and bad for him. And that's why he let all of his worries, his future worries, like be um like focused with me. Future worries, he gave it to God because he already made that decision for him. And the only worries that he dealing with right now is the worries of the things that he can control and not the things that he cannot control. The worries of progress rather than worries of perfectionism. And a disclaimer here, live at your edge. So don't be so much beyond onto your edge, focusing too much on the fucking future. And don't be so away from your fucking edge, which is just like being like those gay people. Oh, do one thing, do one tiny thing every single day, improve 1% every single day. Like, I'm not saying that, although I might sound like I do, but I don't like. You need to replay this video so much to understand. But what I'm saying is live at your edge, work as hard as tremendous as you can, but do not surpass the point where you try to be perfection or your perfectionism starts to kick in. Nor don't work as little as possible to the point that you just feel like a gay person with a fucking colored eyebrows and colored fucking cheeks. I love you and I support you. Keep crushing it. Here, I am Yasir Boras, and my certificate coach by my fucking client testimonials, and I help men quit pornography addiction no matter what.